All right, section 5, biosynthesis. We'll be doing this one as well as feedback loops for this review. Keep in mind, biosynthesis is all about how do we synthesize or take in and transform matter for our bodies, for life. So question number 1, how do we make new carbs, fats, and proteins? Well, we take them in, so we're going to eat them. We eat carbs, we eat fats, we eat proteins. Our body breaks those down into smaller component parts. And then once they're broken into smaller component parts, we build them back up for the things our body needs, for the particular type of protein we need. What happens when we take in more food than our body can use? Well, we store it as fat. When you lose weight, where does the matter go? You breathe it out, or you pee it out, or you sweat it out. So you're breathing out carbon dioxide, and we know that that is the product of cellular respiration. You pee out water. Water is also the product of cellular respiration, and you sweat that out too, right? And those are the primary ways of losing weight, is breathing out and peeing it out. Obviously, you poop, but that really doesn't count for much. A lot of the stuff just goes straight through that digestive tract. The food you eat just goes straight through you and out the other end. All right. If your body needs to build a large molecule like a protein, what does it need in order to build the protein? This can be interpreted in a lot of ways, but the key thing here is build. So you need energy to be able to build the protein. Okay, that's kind of a key thing. You got to have energy, otherwise you can't build. Describe and draw in detail on a cellular level how your body gets energy and matter from eating some delicious whole wheat bread. Yum, yum, yum. And what does the whole wheat bread generally get broken up into? And what do the almonds get broken up into? And how do they travel through your body? Where do they go and what do they do? So the almonds are going to give us matter in this case. The bread is going to give us energy in this case. So let's start with the almond, right? You're eating it. And it's a complex protein. Keep that in mind. As in and of itself is a complex protein. But you can't take this enormous almond and put it into a cell. So we've got to break that up into smaller pieces. So let me pull this down. It gets eaten. It's broken down into amino acids. It goes through the lining of the small intestine. And blood cells deliver the amino acids to a cell. And the amino acids become the building blocks for a complex protein to be built for your body. Okay? So now we're adding matter to our bodies. Remember, matter is never created or destroyed. It's just transformed. And we've transformed the type of complex protein from this almond into the type of complex protein that our body needs by breaking it down into its component parts and building it back up again on a cellular level. Now we've got the bread. Whole wheat bread is a complex carbohydrate. I'm eating some right now. All right. It gets eaten like I am right now. We are breaking it down into glucose molecules. It's going to go through the lining of my small intestine. And blood cells will deliver the glucose to one of my cells. That glucose gets used in cellular respiration. Just as a side note, it doesn't have to, right? I can also get complex carbohydrates built back up in my body. But generally, your carbs are being used for energy straight away. And then what I'm eating from this bread, that is used to provide the energy to build this protein for my body. See that connection there? So the energy I get from the bread is used to build the protein in my body. So again, I'm going to pull my things over here. We've got energy. Okay, energy. And here we've got matter. I'm not going to remember which one I did. There we go. Matter. Okay? So matter and energy. How do you travel the body? What do they do? There you go. Oh. And my cat agrees with this. Okay. Now we're going to go on to feedback loops. So what happens when you exercise? You know that our heart rate increases, but what are the cues that cause our heart to beat faster? What makes it slow down again? And what are the structures involved? So I'm going to tell you these structures. First, we know there are triggers involved, right? There's something that triggers you, triggers the event to happen. When the trigger happens, there are receptors in the body just waiting. They're nervous system cells, basically, and they're like, ooh, what's going on? They're ready to receive that message. And then they're going to deliver that message to the brain through the central nervous system. And the particular part of the brain this is going to is the medulla. And then for this particular system, we got to also include the heart, because the question is asking what structures are involved in controlling your heart rate. So we'll put the heart in there. Types of messages. You could have neural messages. Types of messages. You could have neural messages. You can also have chemical messages. Those are hormonal. And this is the nervous system. Or electrical. What's something that could trigger this? The upcoming biology test, maybe? Stress? I hope not. What else? Exercise will cause your heart to beat faster. And what happens? What are your changes when this happens? Well, a couple of changes. Your heart will either increase, and then of course your heart rate also decreases, depending upon the message and what's going on. Yeah? So that gives you that. Now for your next one, you're going to draw on the labels for this, and I'm just going to talk you through it right here. So when you feel stressed or fearful or you're exercising, there's an increase of CO2 in your body. And so that means that those receptors right here pick up on the fact that there's more CO2 in your body, and they send that information to your brain. And your brain, your medulla, really, because it does it all without, it's the, medulla. And it picks up on that information, and it then sends a message to the adrenal glands, and they produce hormones. And the hormones go throughout the body, and they tell the heart, when they go to the heart, that is the trigger for the heart to start beating faster. And the heart continues to beat faster as long as the hormone epinephrine keeps sending out those messages. Once there is reduced amounts of CO2 in your body, those receptors hear that or receive that message. They don't hear it. They receive the message. Then they communicate that to the medulla, and the medulla says, okay, now we can start to slow down the heart. So slowly the message comes, it's all right, all is good, you can start to slow down the heart, and then the heart returns to its regular, its normal resting rate. All right, that is that one. And then we just have one last one, which is, we're going to combine this with sexual selection. And so we saw those male peacocks and the pheasants and the variety of birds. Even some of you saw the birds of paradise, right? So we know some of these vibrant colors to stand out mean that you may be eaten easily or easier than if you didn't stand out. And so why would you have them? Well, there's more to being fit than just surviving. Fitness also includes being able to pass your traits on to your offspring. And so some of that physical fitness is a little bit of a trade-off, because the whole key is to find a mate and be able to mate. So it's really an advantage in one way, because it means the more attractive you are, or the more